Okay, you guys, welcome back to another review of Married at First Sight. I know this is not a backdrop, this is actually the backyard. We are having a little construction going on the inside of the house, so to avoid all that background noise that you guys would have heard, you definitely would have heard, I decided to come outside and do this review. So let's get into it, because I want to talk about Miss Karen, because she done had me in my feelings. I was liking her, but now she done shot that cat from up under me, and now I'm on my face about her. Okay, all right, y'all, let's get into it. Hi, my name is Kourtney, and welcome to our channel, Kourtney and Eddie. My husband is not here. He does not do this review with me, but for those that are joining for the first time, let me tell you what this channel is about. This channel is about us. We do relationship topics, we do reviews, and right now I'm doing Married at First Sight, and the name of it is Opening Up. Hard to do. Yeah, I had to read my handwriting, it's a mess. But yeah, before we get into it, don't forget to do what? Make sure that you subscribe to this amazing channel, because it is, and if you're not cool. I'm just playing. And make sure that you like it on all social media sites. Make sure that you like and follow us on Facebook as well, because I post this same video over there too. And on all social media sites, y'all know what to do. Comment down below. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and get into it before it starts raining or some bird or some animal want to make noise in the video. Okay, so it first starts and it opens up with all the couples kind of like in their element. They're doing married folks stuff, you know, calling, cooking, you know, going to the store, somebody's sick. So that's kind of how it opens up. Henry's trying to call Christina. As we know, Christina and Henry kind of got into a tiff last episode, so he's calling her. She's going straight to voicemail. You know, when that happened, the phone is turned off. Miles is fixing Karen's car. Of course, we know that Karen said Miles is not masculine, but I don't know many non-masculine men fixing cars. They normally pay somebody else to do that, right? Okay, he's not masculine, so masculine men don't fix cars, so Miles is not masculine, but he did fix your car. All right. And he was super excited about that. You know, he wants to make Karen happy. Amelia is going to the store because her husband Bennett, he is sick, and so she's going to get him some ginger tea and to make him feel better. So yeah, so if y'all see me swatting, the mosquito trying to get me. All right. Oh Lord, that scared me, Jesus. Okay, so let's go into it. Miles invited his friend, which is a chef, to come over to the house and to cook for them, as well as show him how to prepare a dinner for him and his wife. He's really and truly trying to get Karen into a romantic, intimate place, an intimate setting, something to make her loosen up and just open up to him and be more affectionate, you know, because Miles really likes that. He really likes affection. He likes, you know, he's a touchy-feely type of guy, and she is not. So they are, you know, he's trying to show him how to slice I think it was the onions, and Miles was afraid he was gonna chop all his little knuckles off, and I would be too. And so they was talking about that, and you know, and the dinner looked nice, and she was excited about it. She actually was surprised. She did thank Miles for it, and she said, now this is more of her speed. As we have observed, Karen is more of a introvert more than an extrovert, which I really don't know why she did this show, because this is totally extrovert to me, because you got none but cameras in your face all the time. You are putting your life, your feelings, your emotions, your personality out there for the whole world to criticize, judge, or talk about, like we're doing now. So I really and truly don't know why she did this, because it would have been totally getting her out of her element. This wasn't like a one time I'm gonna jump and do a bungee jump. This was like 6-8 weeks you doing this every day. So I can't imagine. Ooh, son. All right then. Ooh. All right. Okay, so basically Karen is saying that this is basically how she pictured marriage, how she figured that her marriage should be, how it is, you know, coming home to a dinner and stuff like that or whatever. So this was ideal for her, but she said she still doesn't know about her and Miles. But okay, so let's move on to Henry said that he was just basically saying that they had a tiff the night before and he hadn't heard from Christina all day. So she walks in and she's basically saying, you know, she's been out with her friends all day and she has something to tell him. Of course, when when they did the clip from last episode, the clip, we was like, what is it that she got to tell him? What is the surprise that she want to tell him? You know, I thought it was that she was homeless. She was gonna tell us what we already knew. I was like, Karen, we already knew you was homeless. Girl, you didn't have to say that. They could have edited that part. We knew that because you said that your stuff is in the car and you was out at the CDB. I'm not finna mess that up, but I appreciate y'all telling me what that was, but I don't forget. So y'all don't go for me in the comments. But yeah, so you was down there, that's where your car was, so that's where you said you stayed. All right, so, but she didn't say that. Getting more to a serious part, she did say that she's been off her meds and that she suffers with ADD. And she was a little afraid to tell him that because she's always been criticized and judged, and even her mom doesn't like for her to be on medicine or to be, you know, advocate for medicine, period. And so she decided to get off for about a month and a half, and it's not working so well. So she apologized to Henry for that's why she's been snappy, that's why she's been a little angry, that's why she's just been, you know, all frustrated and fidgety, because she's been off her medicine. And he actually was very sympathetic to her, empathetic, and he supported her, and he said that it's nothing to be ashamed about, but she was afraid, she was ashamed that, you know, people are going to judge her because they have in the past. All right, Mr. Airplane want to fly by. All right, so yeah, that's the joy of being outside. You get all this background noise, warranted or not warranted. All right, so okay, so let's move on to Amani and Woody. They're out getting a pedicure, and Woody is saying that he loves doing stuff like that with his wife. He's gonna take his wifey out to get a pedicure because she talking about her busted up feet. He don't want her walking around with busted up feet and hands. And so it's nice to get away with your spouse and do something that you both can do together. That sometimes pedicures and manicures seem very feminine, or as Karen would say, non-masculine, of things like that, doing stuff like that, but they enjoy doing it together. She did tell Woody, and she was just being funny, that she was thinking about shaving her head bald, you know, because she said she's gonna have to take the braids out, and he was like, So y'all know she got to continue to peek with him with that, because I think low key, I think that's still something that she's bothered by, and she really and truly wants to see his outcome on how he handles stuff like that. They did talk about, she did say again that she enjoys doing stuff like that with her husband. So yeah, and she asked him, you know, what kind of hair do you like, short hair, long hair? And he said long hair. And y'all know, for married folk bedroom reasons, why he likes the long hair. All right, so anyway, let's move on to Amelia and Bennett cleaning the house. So Amelia asked Bennett, you know, how's he doing? Because she said, you know, she took care of him. He was sick. And so he's doing a lot better. He was able to clean up and stuff like that. And so they said during this time, it made them get closer, you know, him being sick. And I guess she actually being a wife, and she enjoyed her wife fulfilling her wifely duties. And they actually consummated the marriage. Now, I thought they been did this, but maybe it's just the illusion of. And so yeah, and the producer asked like, oh my gosh, y'all had sex? And he was like, yeah. And she was like, well, I'm gonna let him tell it to you guys about it. But he said it was, and I think they asked him, you know, how was it? He said it satisfied his level of physical intimacy. Y'all know he was just being funny, you know. But of course, you don't want to say, like, who asked you that anyway? All right, so let's move on to that must have been an eagle. Okay, so let's move on to everybody got a card from the experts. So Amelia and Benny got their card first, and the question was, how do you know when you're in love? And these are the questions they wanted them to ask their spouse, because now we want to get into more details about how you guys are. Let's go in depth. Let's see what you like, what you don't like, because sometimes maybe you guys wouldn't even ask these questions. And so Amelia said that she feels when she's in love, she feels more connected, she feels joyful, she's happy, she's excited. Bennett said when he's in love, he's more comfortable at communication, he feels happy. And so it looks like Bennett may be maybe falling in love, but you know, he hadn't got to that point yet. He did say that he loves her, but he's not in love with her. And she did say that as far as their love, they're gonna have to have more growth and more mature conversations, because they're still on the fence about his residency. About her residency. She's not real sure how he's gonna take it, how it's gonna pan out. So they need to have more in-depth conversation. I think right now they're more in that giddy stage, and they're saying all the right things, so to speak, and just being themselves, but they're not trying to upset each other. So, and naturally so, when you're in that level of, they've been together for what, 3 weeks? Okay, so let's move on to the dry couple of the show. All right, dry couple. I really think at this point it's just an agreement. They just say, okay, we're gonna fulfill this contract out to the rest of the season, and we're gonna be done and split ties, because they seem uninterested in each other. They seem dry. It's more of a partnership, is more of a dry co-worker kind of stance. Even some co-workers a little more friendly than them. But yeah, so they start off where they asked a question as well, and her response was, you'll just know when you're in love, you'll know within you, you'll have the right feeling. And I think she asked him the question, what can you do to show me that you love me? Because y'all know Brett plays a lot. He may pray. No, I think he said he don't believe in religion. Okay. But I don't know. But he plays a lot. He's very sarcastic, and that gets on her nerve, because as we can see, she's always in supervisor mode. She's always in manager mode. I haven't seen much where she seems relaxed. She seems very tense and tight around it, and she feels like she always has to be on guard, or I don't know. I know he plays a lot and she's too serious. So at this point, I see them just having a partnership. They got into it with the conversation about, focusing on the small things versus focusing on the big things. She was saying that she wants to focus, more on the small things and not so much the big things. And he was saying, well, who gave you that? That's like opposite of what anybody ever told me. That's some bad advice. She got in her feelings about it, but I think I see what she was saying and what he was saying. Basically, let's focus what she was saying. When it comes to a relationship, let's focus on the things that maybe, like small. Let's focus on, the small things in a marriage, as far as you telling me you love me, or let's focus on the things that, oh man, he brought me something home to eat. Let's focus on those things that will help build love, that will help build marriage. He may have been saying, well, let's focus on the big things, like paying this rent, paying these bills. See, I think that they were saying some of the same things, but what they actually meant behind it was totally different. So I think that, because I really understand why they was even having that, maybe I missed the whole thing and y'all got it. I don't know. But let's move on, because they boring anyway. Let's move on to Christina and Henry. I thought this was a good moment for them. Christina said, she was asking Henry, do you still want to get to know me? And Henry said, yeah, the more time I spend with you, the more it's growing, my, I guess, affection or attraction towards you is growing. And she said, well, how will you know when you're in love? And Henry said, it's just a feeling. You're going to know right away. And so she goes on to talk about her past relationship. I guess the one that she had probably before she came on the show. And I think he asked her, have you ever been in love? And so she was like, yeah, her last boyfriend. Christina said this story that, I don't know, it's so young for somebody her age. But anyway, Christina said it was, I guess the bird wants some airtime, y'all. So if y'all can hear him, he talking over me. See, now he's shut up. Okay. Christina said it was with her last ex. She remembered that she only had 5 cents in her bank account, and they was able to go get some soup. They walked to the store because they didn't have enough gas. But she said fighting was normal. in that last relationship, and she found out that she was the common denominator. So she's adjusting her attitude. She's looking at herself, and she basically was telling the people that Henry balances her. She enjoyed being with him. He brings her down to earth. She likes, the more time she spends with him, the more she likes spending with him. And I don't know about that 5 cents in the bank account and y'all ain't had no gas money and y'all walk to get some soup. So it sounds like maybe Christina, I don't know, y'all, I ain't finna say nothing, but like 5 cents and y'all walk to get some soup, and what was the man? Like, are you picking the wrong guys? It seems like you're picking the wrong guys. I cannot believe this bird is out talking to me, like, for real. I'm gonna get through this, y'all. It's gonna be better next time, but I'm getting through it. Okay, so let's move on to Woody and Amani. Bird, shut up. Let's move on to Woody and Amani. Have you ever been in love before? And basically they was talking about, and how do you know that you are in love? And Woody was saying, yes, it's about, he wants to make that person his favorite, their favorite meal, give them scalp massages, and if their hair hurts and he wake up thinking about it, that person is always on his mind. And Amani said, well, it sounds like you describing the stuff you did for me, and are you trying to say you in love with me? And he was like, he said, well, I got love for you. And then it's just like he didn't want to come out and just absolutely say, yeah, that he was in love with her. And he was like, yeah, I am in love with you. And so she was like, well, I'm not in love with you. I'm growing toward that way. I'm heading toward that way, but I'm not in love with you. But then again, I don't want to fully thrust myself into it because I'm afraid that I may get hurt. So in a sense, Amani was saying she got walls up, and I do understand her plot on this. She said she has walls up. She's afraid to let them down. And so he like, but I'm your husband. Like, you should be all in. I'm not some random dude. I'm not somebody that's going to hurt you or break your heart. But I do understand her plot because they're still in that path of getting to know each other. So it's kind of hard to go all in. It's only been 3 weeks. So it's hard to go all in. So I do understand her, but it did hurt his feelings. He said, man, I'm up here telling my wife I love her, and it kind of sucks that she's not saying it back. I'm not like all these other dudes. Move on to Karen and Miles. Woo, child. Yep, that's what Karen do to me. Woo, child. All right, I'm start sweating. So the same question was asked to them, and she said when she feels safe, that she knows that she's in love. Not safe. She said on a different level of safe. And I can come to you with anything. And she said one thing about us, we haven't went into deep conversations about us as children. We haven't went into deep conversation about our past. So she began to ask him, what was your childhood like? And he said that, my mom and dad, and we already know his mom and dad got divorced when he was way young. He was like 9. And he bounced back and forth between both homes. And it was a matter of him being the peacemaker between his parents. He wanted to please, peace over here. He wanted peace over there at his mom's. And it became too much for him. And by the time he got into college, he was just like, I can't do this no more. I just cannot. And his dad was like, son, you don't have to do this. And I think that's where, and they was talking about this, that's basically Karen was like, well, that's probably how you are today. You are the one that wants to be the peacemaker. And even when it comes to her, she was like, be yourself. Don't be afraid to express yourself. Show your feelings. Just be yourself. And to me, when he was trying to, you kind of gutted him in the back. But anyway, we'll get to that. And so, because she said, I want you to be real. You're trying to save the world. You're trying to, please everybody. That's basically what he was saying. He was trying to please everybody, and he's trying to please her, but she don't want him to do that. Well, I think it's finna try to rain, but the devil is a lie. We're gonna continue on. Okay, so let's move on to Amelia and Bennett. And first of all, why was that friend over there? Was the friend there just to cook the cake in the midnight? She could have left, but she stayed over there. Y'all know, I don't know about these friends that Amelia and Bennett them got. But anyway, let's move on. So I guess the friend was over there to help cook this cake at 2 o'clock in the morning, and she wanted to surprise him. And so, they were in the kitchen. He actually, I guess, saw the cake that she made that's really his face. Y'all, they are fun, light, and silly. So you have to take them for what they are. It may be weird to us or me, but I like their relationship. I like their sense of humor. I think that in times of seriousness, they know how to be serious and they know how to be silly. It should be a balance of both. Not like Brett and Olivia, always serious, or one serious and one is being silly. Okay, so she wanted to take him on a picnic. She wanted to surprise him, so he put on a little funky look. Not a little funky. He put on a little big pants and stuff like that, and she had on the same thing, so they had on the same little outfit. So it looks like what they were doing is called slacklining. I think I heard that correctly. I personally have never heard of it. I guess I called it tightrope walking. But it looked like Amelia didn't want him to have no more kids. I guess she really wanted him to adopt, because the way he kept hanging himself on there, he was finna hang something else and finna hurt himself. And so anyway, after they got finished with that, he did accomplish it with the help of her. They sat down and they talked, and they talked about, I didn't even write that part down because just talking about the value of each other, and how people say I give up the world for you and stuff like that. So it was almost, I guess it was light and funny, or I don't know. Yeah, it was just a little conversation. All right, so let's move on to Henry and Christina. So they are going golfing. So Christina decided to prepare this for Henry, because he loves golfing. He's in his element. When he's in his element, it seems that he flows better. And so, yeah, he enjoys golfing, and he actually helped her, and she enjoyed it. So they had a good time. It seems as though they are coming along. Maybe they're coming along slowly, but it seems like they're actually having conversations. They're talking, they're communicating, and yeah, I really truly, I like this part of both of them. And they seem, she said, you seem a little bit more confident when you're golfing. And so yeah, so he's like, you enjoyed it? So she was like, yeah, I actually enjoyed it, and the confidence you had is very attractive, so I like that. So okay, so now let's move on to Amani and Olivia. They were out at the alligator park, I guess, walking and talking, and Olivia feels very comfortable talking to Amani. And I think Amani is a cool person to talk to. All of the ladies are, to be exact. But Amani was saying that, Woody is basically, he's hyped 24/7. That's his personality, and hers is more of, she's more hyped when she's with her friends and stuff like that. But he's helping to balance her, or helping her to, kind of get out of that, state of being, mild, I guess, So they help offset each other. And she was saying that they are a good match for each other. They're actually, similar. But so Olivia was talking about Brett is hype all the time, and she's not so much. She comes home and she's tired at times. She doesn't feel like talking. She doesn't want to communicate per se. She just kind of want to be quiet, which I would still say, even this, why, Olivia, did you go on this show? You should have found your own man that can deal with that part of you. I think what the experts wanted to do is to balance the couples. I can kind of see why they put you guys together, because it seems like it's opposites attract, and it seems like they were trying to balance you guys. And so she said that Amani asked her about the attraction. And as far as her and Woody, she said, yeah, she's very attracted to him. She get butterflies when he come home. She can't wait to see him. And I'm still like that with my husband, y'all. I'm still like that with my husband. Can't wait to see him. I'm like a kid in the candy store. When he pulled up, I'm like, yes. So, and I think it should always be like that. But Olivia's like, she says the attraction is gone just a little bit. But yeah, they not there yet. They not there. So mine was like, well, maybe I'll come along. Olivia did say that she don't know why the experts matched them. And then Amani said that Woody said that Brett kind of gives like these political answers. So he really don't give like the truth, the straight answer. He just gives these roundabout answers. So Henry, let's move on to Henry playing a salsa class with Christina. And I thought this was So cute. I think I'm so grateful that Henry is getting out of his comfort zone and doing things that Christina likes. And so yeah, I think he did great. It was able to bring them more of closeness, because sometimes they sit apart, everything is so far apart, they haven't became on that level of intimacy as far as being close to each other. And so yeah, I think this was great. That the dance instructors were good. It seems like they gave them their kudos, and Henry just kind of got comfortable. She said she was a little bit nervous. She wasn't sure of how well he was going to do, because it seemed like he was sucking in the beginning, but he caught on. So let's move on to this grocery store incident with Karen and Miles, y'all. Let's move on to this. I hope I don't stay on this long. So they're going to the grocery store buying groceries for the upcoming week or whatever she's going to cook for that day. And so she said she enjoys grocery shopping with her husband. This is stuff that married folks do. She enjoys being the wife. She's going to go home and cook. So she asked him, do he like this and do he like that and stuff like that, and picking out some stuff. But she said it does throw her off when a guy is open with his emotion. It throws her off a little when a guy is so open with his emotion. Karen did say that this is new for her. And she started talking about the hairstyle and all that stuff as a metaphor on what she meant. She said that this is new to her. She's not sure how to handle it because she's used to a masculine man, and she's just not used to a man being all in his feelings. So Miles asked her the question, so do you think that emotional intelligence, because he's very emotional intelligence, and masculinity match? And so she was like, absolutely. So Pastor Kyle did say this off camera, that sometimes people can sabotage their opportunity of falling in love because they have this preconceived notion on what they think their spouse should behave like. And that is so true. We can mess up things for ourselves because we think that it should behave like this. Like I said, Karen is probably used to her father, the men in her life, the men in her past, not being emotionally in touch or emotionally in tune with their emotions. It seems like maybe this is something that maybe she should. I don't know if her dad said, how people say men shouldn't cry, men shouldn't do this, but that's not true. We know that's not true. Men have feelings like women do. Men can cry like women can cry. Yes, we as women, we're very emotional, some of us, because we have hormones, we have all this stuff, but men can be very emotionally in touch as well. So I think Karen has this weird sense of masculinity. She don't know how to separate the two. It doesn't mean because you crying and he hadn't even cried, because you're in touch with your emotions, that mean that you're not masculine. Who done taught you, child? All right, so let's move on to Olivia and Brett. This is gonna be real quick. They planned a trip and going to the swamp tour, and yeah. It seemed like they were so not into each other. It seemed like they were so bored. They were not having a good time, but it looks like at the end they started having a good time. And he was trying to rub on her, I noticed that he was, holding her and stuff like that or whatever. And she just seemed like, okay, like this a cousin or somebody doing this. So, yeah, they so over each other. All right, so it seemed like the producers are too, because they just put them in there a little bit. I had forgot about them at one point. All right, so let's move on to Amelia and Bennett. They were cooking and they were talking about their responsibilities as far as their chores in the house. The things that I like to do, things I don't like to do, and stuff like that. I thought that was cute. They still in a good place. They haven't had real hard conversations to sit down and talk about things. Okay, so Amelia and Amani and Woody. I'm sorry if I'm messing up these names. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. Amani and Woody. So she was able to cook her husband dinner. She surprised him with dinner. And so he was like, oh, girl, what is this? So, he enjoyed that, So she was like, I'm trying to do my wife do my wife thing and cook my husband dinner. So when he come home, he can have some for him to eat. So she was like, so he appreciated. She was happy to do it. And so it seems like this is just perfect for them. So they sit down and talk. Now, let me tell y'all something. Did y'all notice this? I paid attention to it the first time, but I did go back and rewind it. So he was like, so that's why you weren't answering your text message. She was like, yep. She said, so I want you to see how it feels to be, ignored or not paid attention to. I don't know, some little subtle shade that was thrown between the two. So I don't know what that's all about. And it could have been some arguments or something they done off camera. So maybe Woody, at certain points or during this course of this experience, maybe he wasn't quick to answer her text message or quick to answer her call or return her phone call back, and maybe she just kind of did the same thing to him, that tit for tat stuff. So I don't know if y'all paid attention to it, but I did. I don't know the basis of it, but I did pay attention to it. So anyway, so they were sitting talking, and so she was saying that she loved to do stuff like this. She loved, to please her man. You have been so nice to me. You have been catering to me, and I wanted to do this stuff for you. And she said, and he was talking about her leggings. He was like, okay, I see you with your skin showing a little flesh and flesh. And she was like, of course he was attracted to that. She was like, you'll be attracted to me if I was in a burqa. And he said, okay then, yes, women's on lettuce, tomatoes, pickles and stuff. And she was like, what? She said, I said burqa, not burger. He was like, what is that? So, and the burqa is, when the people have everything, covered up and stuff like that. So they laughed about that. I thought that was cute. So, they laugh about anything. They silly, and I like them as well. Now let's move on to Karen and Miles. Basically, this part starts where I guess they kind of diverted from the grocery store and they kind of putting up the groceries. And so they was talking about what's a date and what's not a date. And so, Miles was making fun and saying, well, grocery shopping was a date for us. And so she was like, no, it's like going to the movies, going out to eat, that's a date. And so Miles had a question to ask her. And so in my opinion, I think that the producers told Miles to ask this question. It doesn't feel like he was 100% comfortable asking her this. And I think the producers wanted to, maybe stir up some, especially on camera. And so he asked her, so what is your level of intimacy? I know you don't like to talk about this. I know this is not, your fan favorite or something. She was like, well, who said I don't like to talk about it? He's like, well, you said it before. It's not something that you like to talk about. So maybe they had these moments off camera. And so, so he was like, well, do you like to kiss? As far as sex, how do you, what is your level of intimacy? And so she was like, I'm a woman. I have needs. So of course, I want to do all of that stuff. And so she said, when it happens, it'll happen. It'll happen naturally, because he was like, well, how are you going to know when it happened and when is it going to happen? And so she was like, it's going to happen naturally. We don't have to put it on the calendar like Tuesday at 9 p.m. This is about to go down. And so he was like, oh yeah, I think we need to put it on the calendar. Yes, I'm going up here and putting it on the calendar. And of course, we know, the audience know, Twitter knows, because I went on Twitter and read the comments. We know Miles was playing. Well, Miss High and Mighty got all in her feelings about this and called him childish. And so she was like, and called him childish and everything, and said that, he crossed the line. And she was very offended. He stepped over the boundaries. And so we know Karen wants him to open up. She wants him to be himself. But yet again, you keep cutting him off. So when he does those things, you cut him off and you not giving him a chance to be himself. Himself is being funny, and but he also wants affection. He, even if it's just a holding hands, even if it's a constant kiss. When they was in the groceries, when they were and he was filming, and he picked up his phone and he filmed them, when they was getting ready to eat dinner. And at that moment, I thought that he was going to try to kiss her, but maybe he's not stepping up fast enough, and maybe he's being intimidated by her persona, by her action, which I can understand that. Karen needs to get over it. Karen needs to really and truly stop being childish. Maybe she's the one being childish because of the comment that she made when he put it on the calendar. To me, that was a childish moment. Maybe she didn't want that to be aired on television, but once again, you are on national TV. You chose this. I don't know if the people contacted you and said, pick you, hey, we're going to pay you so much amount of money to be able to do this. And I don't know if that was the case. I'm starting to think that maybe she didn't choose this. Maybe they chose her. I don't know. But it's old, it's boring, it's tired that you give him, leeway to say, hey, come and do this, be yourself, do this, do that, do that. Don't, always please me. Don't be a Superman for me. I just want to see you where he wasn't at that point. And he was trying to be himself, but you just knocked them all down and said, So y'all, Karen is really getting on my nerves with this back and forward stuff, you know. To me, Miles seems to be a good man. He's trying to be respectful. He's trying to please you. He's trying to make you happy. And in turn, when he does, and he says something that you're not comfortable with, you just, you know, get outraged and get out, you know, talking about he crossed the lines and he crossed. Yeah. Girl, stop it. So on that note, you guys, this video was kind of hard to put together because I had so many obstacles, but you know, nevertheless, I'm gonna get it done and I'm gonna get it out there. And I hope you guys enjoyed this content. I apologize for being in the scenery because I can't make these birds shut up for real. I can't make them shut up. I can't make the bees stop doing what they doing. But I hope you enjoyed it in spite of. Make sure that you know you like this video. Make sure that you like this video, that you comment down below, and make sure that you share it. Making sure that you share it to your friends, share it on all your social media sites. And if you're watching us via Facebook, again, make sure that you like and follow. That's all I got, you guys. I had some more, but I guess the birds want to talk more than me. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Don't forget to go with God and let God go with you. I love you guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Hopefully this will not be my background. All right, you guys. Deuces.